What's up, everybody? Here with GT Sport, and we have a new update. The 1.06 update. You see listed here in the information. Game physics updated. Force feedback has been updated. Various sound sources. Online experience has been improved. Rolling starts now available in daily races. I've done a couple of online races with, Group 3 and Group 4. They were both standing start, so I don't know if that's an option that you can change, or it's something that's going to be rolled out a little bit later, because as of right now we don't have the rolling starts in yet. Algorithm to sportsman rating has been changed, so a little bit more adjustments in that. Hazard lights, indicators and hazard lights has also been assigned to specific buttons, so now you can map your buttons to where you want the hazard lights to flash, or you want the individual indicators to flash. Brake indicator can now be switched on or off under driving options. Now what that is that's the big red brake that shows up while you're in the braking zone, and you couldn't turn that off at all. So now they gave you an option to where you could have that on all the time, or you want to have it off. So I'm very glad that they made that change. Also, save game data files are now stored online. When you first boot up the beta, before it goes to the menu screen, it'll show that game files are saving. It'll show that before it goes to the menu screen. So all the stuff are being saved to the cloud, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. And also fix certain bugs, which I don't know what those are, but I haven't ran into any. So that's pretty much the list of updates. Now we're going to get into it and display some things that also have not been showed listed. Okay, I'm here in Genesis Coupe on Nordschleife, and going in the reverse area, and what I'm showing off here is now we have skid marks added to the surface of the track. A few donuts. Okay, you see we have skid marks. We also got smoke. I don't recall if smoke was ever in the game before. Maybe not to this much effect, because I don't really try to do much drifting at all. So here we have smoke. There you see the skid marks. Okay, we'll take a lap around Nordschleife to see if it stays or if it goes away after a while, much like how when you go on the gravel trap and the gravel gets shoot onto the track, but then it just disappears after a while. Also, another thing not listed in this update patch is that the visual view of the game has changed. So the track surface itself looks brighter. As you see the trees, the coloring of the trees, there's more color, more green in the trees. The grass looks more colorful. Just the overall color of the game is brighter. It's a little brighter. You're just coasting around. And you see these trees here, they have way more detail in them. A lot of trees in these areas, they have more detail, even some in the background, like way beyond the background, there's more detail there. More color in them, more detail in them. So the overall visual of the game has been adjusted as well. As far as the game physics, it feels pretty much the same to me. Maybe a slight difference as far as like driving this car. There's a slight difference, but not that much noticeable yet on any other car that I've used so far. I haven't tried them all, so far I haven't seen that much difference. As far as the audio sound of the cars, again, it's very subtle. Like I have seen videos of that being displayed as a comparison, but there's a little bit of difference, but it's a very subtle difference. Some cars needed it, some cars didn't. Some cars, you know, you could go either way, but you see the color in the trees, the background in the hills, everything looks brighter. Brighter, you can see everything more clear. You could like spot certain areas on the track. Overall, it's looking better. It's not like it never looked good before. I mean, Gran Turismo has always been known to be a good looking game. Physics-wise, it's Gran Turismo. Physics-wise, it's not a set of Corsa. It's not Project Cars. It's not Race Room, iRacing, R-Factor. There's still not that sim-like handling that I would like to see this game possess. But who knows? They're really doing a lot of changes to it, so we can only wait and see how much more work they're going to put into the beta and show off what more that they have in store for us. Okay, here we are on the back straight. Come up to the final few corners. We'll see if these tire marks still stay. Life is not the only track that's getting these visual, you know, up looks. You know, the other tracks like Brands Hatch and any other track that they have for us to race on have those visual differences. And here we are, and you see the skid marks are still there. They don't look as bright as they were before, but they are there. So now they will be on display permanently. So really good addition. Supposed to be able to do it on dirt too, like you see the skid marks, not really skid marks, but make ruts in the dirt. Haven't been able to see that, but there it is, skid marks. Also here, I'll show off the hazard lights. As you see, have it mapped to a button. Press the button, the hazard lights blinking. On the HUD, it shows the hazard arrows blinking as well, so you see the front and the back. And you, like I said, you could set it up for the individual turn signals to blink. So you just map it out in the controller. Also, another interesting thing that wasn't listed here, you can see there's pit crews in the pit area. So we have pit crews in the pit area, so maybe we might get tire changes and we'll actually see the pit crew in action. So that would be very interesting to see. Not anything we could do right now, but they're just there for visual effects, so maybe it might be in later updates. Also, here you can also hear the crowd in the background. And at certain parts, I can barely make it out myself, but there are certain parts in here where you can actually hear music being played. Like the crowd has the music going on in their, you know, tent areas watching the races, so you hear them cheering and you can hear a little bit of music in the background. Another addition not listed is in the chase cam. We have two optional views of the chase cam. You see chase cam type, you have far and near. Subtle differences. I mean, perspective is not much different. I mean, the car isn't pushed any farther ahead. So it's mainly just the view of the track itself is like it's wider. You can see more around you, and maybe a little bit more behind you as well. And now we have a far more option in chase cam. As you see the difference, the car is more closer, but it doesn't overall change like the distant view of the car. Also, another interesting addition is that we have rain tires available. You see the intermediate and the heavy wet. However, there's no weather in this game yet to where the track surfaces would be wet or raining. But for a funny reason, they added it, so maybe we might get weather changes added later on in future updates. Also, now we get into the brake indicator. If you see it flashing right there, the brake indicator flashes. The braking point towards the corner. As I said earlier, this was a feature that was just mandatory in there. You didn't have an option to adjust it. Now you do. Go to race start, you go into brake indicator settings to turn it on and off. If it's on, I'll just turn it off. And you see we start over, come back to this corner. Brake indicator doesn't show. We'll go down to the front stretch to the more heavier braking point on this track. Again. Flashing on the screen or being a distraction. Glad that they made that change. Here, messing around here with the skid marks again. The emergency brake. Do this whole lap around. See if it still stays. Also notice, as you see, I have traction control here on the GT3. It just like that by default. I already had it turned off. So I'm guessing that's something that they save in the game. Okay, well, this classic cars, you have this setting saved. Hope you saved it out. And other classic older settings, you have saved it out. Also found an interesting thing when I was using the Genesis is that even though you had traction control off, when you're shifting gears, the traction control does take an effect. Only when you're shifting gears. It doesn't take an effect at all if the car goes sideways. You know, it's still off only when you're upshifting, which is very weird. So there is a hint of traction control being implemented even though you have it fully off. Now, here's, I think, was one of the best features in this update. And it's something that was just added to Assetto Corsa, and now we have it in Gran Turismo, and that's adjustment view in a cockpit. So now you can adjust how high or how low you want to sit in the cockpit and how further back or how close you want to be to the steering wheel. You can see you can adjust it up and down. I already had it set to 5 going back, so you could set close and sit a little further back. I kind of wish you could extend it back a little bit, but we do have cockpit adjustments, which is very pleasing to me. Overall, wish the field of view overall would also be added in to where you could stretch it out a little bit. And of course, even with this addition, you still can't view the rear view mirror on the Z4. And you see it looks straight ahead. It's very barely visible on the right side. So we still got that issue with the Z4 where you still can't view the mirror without having to turn completely all the way to the right. But nevertheless, I'm glad for the new cockpit setup. Go through it again, up and down. I have it all the way up. You can see the head is closer to the ceiling. Now we'll put at the lowest, eye level with the top of the steering wheel. You can even see the racing belts, the racing seat belts, being that you're sitting lower in the seat. Very difficult to drive in this position as you can't see the track at all. So I don't know if anybody would actually want to drive like that, or they just pose it as a challenge to themselves. Yeah, but that's pretty much it for this update to Gran Turismo. Liking all the changes, and we're looking forward to more stuff that they add to this game. So there you go, 1.06 update for Gran Turismo Sport.